Hi guys, my name is Gabby if it's your first time to this channel, and if you're returning, thank you so much and welcome back. Guys, today's video is a special treat that I've been promising since last year sometime, of my cousin's immigration process with her and her husband. So we was finally able to sit down and record this video. However, this was done over the birthday weekend for my sister. So we were having ourselves a good old time. A good old time was had, if you understand what I'm saying. So hopefully you were able to get something worthwhile out of the interview. You're able to take something with you that will help you in your immigration process. So I hope you enjoy the video. I'm Gabby and welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. And if you're returning, thank you so much and welcome back. As you guys can see, I have a guest with me. This is my cousin. She's going to be discussing her immigration process for her husband in this video. We're just going to go over a few questions, and yeah, so that's the video for today. So introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Tanitha Stevens. We can talk about the process. The process was a lengthy process, but not too bad.
Well, tell them where your husband is from.
Well, my husband's from Kingston, Jamaica. I am from Florida. We live and reside in Florida, state of Florida.
Your process was you guys got married first and then you applied, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us about how you felt throughout the process?
Well, when we filed the paperwork, of course, we seek Gabby. Even though she says she's not legal, legal attorney, that kind of process, but she was a great inspiration for us and the guidance, and she gave us the guidance that we need when we applied back in 2020 of December 2020. So we went through the process in December 2020. We followed Gabby process, and we filed the end of December 2020, and it didn't take long because of the pandemic. It threw things back, but it wasn't a long process because my husband had his interview on April the 3rd of 2023. So it didn't hold the process too long, because after his interview of April 3rd of 2023, and it was for my birthday, and he got approved, and he migrated here. He was approved to migrate here back in 2023, and he came August 4th of 2023.
Okay, so when you filed your I-130, the first petition with USCIS, from that time to get your approval for the I-130, how long of a wait time did y'all have to wait?
When we did the I-130, that was in the end of 2020, 2021, between 2021 and 2022. That's when we they asked different questions in 2022.
Okay,
so in February of 2022, actually.
So
it took me to initially call them once I got an email from them in February of 2022, and I replied back to them, and then they speed up the process a little bit, doing the phone call back in May, between May.
And that was with NVC. So right. So the question was, like, when did NVC get your paperwork? When did USCIS approve you and send it to NVC? You remember what date that was?
I would say back in 2021. I can't say what date, but
so about a year or less that time for you to get your I-130 approved.
Right.
And this was during the pandemic.
Right.
And then from there with NVC, it was 2021 until February of
2022.
Or 2022 when we had that conversation. You was like, they were taking too long. And
right.
That's when you were still able to call them on the phone, because
the 603 number.
The 603 number, you called and asked them, and then they pushed it.
And they push it through, and then they push it through between April and May, and that's when the phone calls were disconnected.
In May,
in May.
Okay.
Of 2022. 2022.
So with NVC, you got your documentary qualification. Do you remember what time frame that was? Or?
That was like maybe in the month of February of 2023.
Okay, February 2023, you got documentarily qualified. And then from being documentarily qualified to getting your actual interview date
was April 3rd
of 2023.
Okay.
All right. So I'm trying to think of I can't even do my math because I can't think right now. But okay, so in all, the time frame took you about 3 years?
Yeah.
It took about 3 years from submitting the petition to the approval. So can you tell me, like, a lot of people are always asking, how long is it gonna take? Why it's taking so long? What was your feelings going through the process of having to wait?
I was such in a hurry to get my husband here, and so he finally migrated here. It was a long, lengthy process, but the process was, a learning curve for me because it was new to me. But I did follow the steps that you stated. So when he had the interview for immigration in Jamaica, we did the binder process where we put the start to finish for as all the paperwork's in a binder to make it easy for him to hand it off to the immigration official.
Okay.
So it was an easy process as he went through each seating to whoever he had to meet with down in immigration.
A lot of times people ask about the evidence to prove your bona fide marriage. Like, what did you submit for your evidence?
The documents that they send back for approval for MVC, the marriage certificate. In the binder, the different labels for the marriage certificate, my divorce, all the documents in the binder book and label in the binder to make the process easy. The photos, all documentation if we were, if I was sending money, any paperwork of that. Our email, our text back and forth for each other was in that portfolio, our bank statements. Things of that nature.
So you remember you were talking about signing the I-864. You remember you were saying they were having an issue with you wanting the wet signature. Do you remember?
Right. They said it wasn't a wet signature that I provided, but I resubmit all that and it got pushed through.
Okay. I know you weren't there for the interview. It was just your husband, but like from having conversations with him, do you remember some of the questions that they asked him?
Well, they asked, where was I, when he was doing his interview, and he told them that I was there in Jamaica, waiting. Okay. Why did we get married so fast? That was one of the questions that they asked, and that's pretty much it. They really asked. They didn't ask too many questions.
Okay. Did he talk about how he felt? How did he feel the process was? Was it hard? What did he feel?
Well, he was a little nervous because he didn't know what he was, the anticipation of what questions they were asking. But by my husband being a correctional officer there already in Kingston, make things flow a little bit easier.
So do you have any advice or recommendations for people who are going through the process?
I recommend them when you're going through this process is to be patient. It takes a whole lot of patience and persistence. So when you reach that final stage of going through that process, make sure they have your binder book available of what going on through the months or the year,
the relationship,
right? The relationship process as you're going through the immigration process. Oh, bless you.
Sorry.
So just to make sure you have your labels and tabs all through your binder book, because the binder book plays a big method, unlike brown envelopes where they have to pull out and do this and do that. The binder book is so much better because you have your different labels. Of course, your marriage certificate, your bank statements, your texting back and forth if that's the case, your photos, your marriage certificate, all your different things, miscellaneous things of that nature. You're traveling back and forth. All that in a binder book makes the process much easier.
And it's easier
for all the questions what they ask the immigration attorneys or representatives.
Having it organized and easy to get
right,
to
and they can just pull it out and hand it over to them.
Yeah,
it was an easy process for my husband.
That's good.
So.
And then you had to make sure you had your original copies.
Right, all original copies then and there. Because if you don't have it, it's a no-win. He was approved that day on April 3rd, and he had to leave the country in 3 months. So he had to be out of that country on September 27th. Okay. And the Social Security card and all that stuff didn't take long. Driver's license, none of that. He's got that clearance. Okay. Back in August, and then in September he applied to the different jobs and of that nature, and then he passed with the state exam for his security. So he got on board with security, being a security officer. Okay.
And he had an international license. So how did that work? He could just drive. He didn't have to.
He just showed his international But he still had to take a exam.
Oh,
just
okay.
the exam
In Florida. Okay.
for Florida.
Okay.
No road test, just the exam itself.
Okay.
Once he passed that, then they mail the license to him.
Okay, so my question to you is, do you think, because I know initially you were thinking about hiring an immigration attorney.
Right.
So for people who are kind of on the fence about, hiring an immigration attorney, what do you think?
No need to hire an attorney. My husband went through the process of asking his sister for an attorney, but there was no need to an attorney because I talked to an immigration attorney on the phone, and it's all about patience because she was like, oh, you already did everything you need to do. Mm. No need to hire an attorney. If you already know the process, you know how to read and write, no need for an attorney. It takes patience and persistence. Mm-hmm. And just waiting patiently. Just, like I said, make sure you have your ducks in a row. Make sure you have that binder each time, whatever your transition or transactions that you're doing, you put in your binder book and be ready for that interview.
Yeah, that's basically it. Now, I'm not saying I always say it's your choice, whatever you're more comfortable with. If you're comfortable with an attorney, of course, hire an attorney. But if you can read and write, like she says, you can understand, comprehend, you can do it yourself. You just have to be patient. Take your time, read, understand, and make sure you have all your documents and things that they need
in the binder book.
Yeah. So, is anything else you want to share?
It was a great experience. I'm still going through the experience because there's a lot of stuff I still need to know because of the citizenship.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I just wanted to let her share her experience to let you know that it can be done on your own as long as you don't have any extenuated circumstances. It's definitely something that you can do on your own. It's doable, and as she said, it's just going to require patience. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that because it is a long extenuating process. Unfortunately, that's what it is.
Right.
So so that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, as always, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. And thank you so much for sharing your stories. So we'll see you guys next one. Bye.
You make sure you edit out the liquor part. Girl, you better edit so much because I'm such a drunk half.
Girl, I know I'm looking at you like
my eyes flush.
Yeah.